Good evening. My name is Lily Das Gupta. On behalf of Neighborhood Advisory Board, Brooklyn 14, and the City Community Action Program, operated by New York City Department of Youth and Community Development, I would like to welcome you to this community need assessment hearing for 2022. This hearing is being conducted to determine service priorities for our neighborhood in connection with the Federal Community Service Block Grant, or CSBG program, which provides anti-poverty funding. As you can see, all of you have this paper, and there is a detailed explanation of Neighborhood Advisory Board and CSBG funding and the community need assessment process. Neighborhood Advisory Board, or NAB, have the authority and responsibility to help set the priorities for 41 neighborhood development areas throughout New York City for the federal CSBG funding. The map of our individual area is at the table with the DYCD staff. You can see the map is here, is a small map. All of you can just look at the map for our individual area and the entire border. At this time, I would like to introduce my colleague, which is sitting next to me. I have four neighborhood advisory board. So I'm gonna pass it to them. They're gonna introduce themselves. Leticia, would you like to start?
Thank you. My name is Leticia Reyes. I'm Vice Chair of the Neighborhood Advisory Board in District 14.
Hi, my name is Blake Morris. I'm a member of CB Board, of Board 14.
Hi, my name is Samuel Ludo. I'm a member of Neighborhood Advisory Board 14.
Thank you, everyone. So as we move forward, I'm glad all of you came here and appreciate your attendance who made it possible to come here and be part of our public hearing. So I would like to request each of you, each person will be given 2 minutes to share their testimony regarding two most important questions, what matters to our community. The first is, what are the most urgent need in your neighborhood? And the second one is, what kind of program would address those needs? So everyone has, okay, so I would like to request all of you, you can express either through writing, or if you would like to come and speak up, you are welcome to come and you will be given authority to talk on this mic. So you can take 2 minutes. We just want to make sure that everyone has a chance to speak, everyone can express their interest, because it matters to our community. The reason we all gathered here to make sure what is important to our community. And I believe together we can make our community better.
Teresa, you want to unmute yourself?
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, shall I go ahead?
Yes.
Okay. Hi,
Sure.
okay. My name is Therese Rodney, and I am representing PS 139, which is located at 330 Rugby Road, at the intersection of Cortelyou Road, and then there's also Argyle around the corner from us. PS 139 is a Title I school, and we predominantly serve the kids in the neighborhood. We have two play spaces in the area, one that's on Cortelyou Road, a very small playground, and another larger schoolyard that's on Argyle, which is currently under construction and scheduled to be completed at the end of the year. Our yard playground is used for lots of activities during the school hours, but it has to be closed during off hours. Unfortunately, our budget was cut, as with most schools, so the custodial overtime is no longer available. We previously had 19,000 available to us through the school, but now we only have the 7,500 to pay the custodians. Therefore, the yard remains closed. In the past, this yard was really a meeting space for the community. So it was really helpful for all of our small kids and, the neighborhood kids to congregate, parents and the like. And now we do not have this community space available to us any longer. We have one other playground that's in the direct neighborhood. Across the street is a small tot lot, and that's the closest playground available or play space available. Anything else is about 3/4 of a mile away. So there's nowhere for children to play in the community, and that's really at a loss for us. The large yard is really like this gathering space for all of us. Activities happen there over the weekend or used to happen there over the weekend, and we are truly missing that. So we are asking if that can be a priority for the community. It's just an extremely valuable space for all of us to have. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Teresa. Really appreciate it.
Is there anybody else that wants to speak?
You might have some. Well, I'm thinking maybe they'll go on very quickly.
Yes.
Yes.
On the poster. Oh, this is sticking in there.
Is that the one who does that?
Yes.
I keep admitting it. Here we go.
We'll keep letting.
Hello. Hi, Ms. Teresa, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you so much for your detailed explanation on what exactly mattered to your community. I really appreciate your time. Would you do me a favor, Ms. Teresa? Could you please fill out the survey form? It's online. You can do it through the barcode, or if you want the link, we can send you the link. Or if you have the paper one, whatever way you like it. because that is really important. And I would really appreciate if you can spread out to whoever you know and what matters to them.
Okay, so can I just be clear? It would be helpful to have the link so I can make sure that I'm filling it out in the right place in the right way.
Sure.
And then you're saying that I can share that link with other members within our community to have them fill it out?
Absolutely.
Okay, yes. So would you share the link with me so I can do as you requested?
Sure, we
Thank
can do that. Do you mind just writing your email down in the chat box?
Somebody want to speak, Juan Joseph? Can you, he could unmute himself. Who is it? Joseph. Tell Joseph to unmute himself.
Ms. Rodney, I dropped the community needs assessment link in the chat. DYCD is doing a community needs assessment. It's a citywide assessment, so you can feel free to fill that out. You could also feel free to share that link with family, friends, and neighbors. We want to know what you think and what's needed.
Thank you.
Sure.
Hi, good evening.
Hello.
Hi, just a quick question about the community needs assessment. What is the deadline for submission for that?
As of now, the deadline, we don't have a deadline yet.
We don't.
No, not yet.
Hi, we do not
There's no
have a
deadline.
deadline yet.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Really?
Yeah.
You still want?
Hello, all the people who joined virtually. I really appreciate. Just have a quick question. If any of you is interested to testify.
Sorry, can you repeat that question?
If any of you would like to testify. I have one testimony from Ms.
Thank you.
Marissa, and I would really appreciate if any of you would like to testify. Sorry, my bad. So the question, what I am looking from all of you, what are the most urgent needs in your neighborhood? And the second question is, what kind of program would address those needs? And it's very important for all of us as a community member. It's important for DYCD NAP to know what matters to our community. So I would really appreciate to all of you, please come forward and testify. Thank you. To Joseph?
Yes. My name is Dwayne Joseph. I'm a resident on Woodruff Avenue in the northern end of the district. I'd like to say, as far as needs go, we definitely need resources available for mental health, to address some of the issues we have in the area. Also, we need resources to help with the displaced persons in the area. We have quite a few, I guess, pockets in the district where many of the folks who are housing displaced kind of cluster. So we definitely need more outreach there. And then we need more resources for our young people. We definitely need more after school programs, more vocational training programs, and in my opinion, we also need more programs geared to incubators to help the young people, build their own brands, businesses, that sort of thing.
Sure. Do me a favor, Mr. Duran. There is a link in the chat box, which my associate has sent out a few minutes ago. And if you don't see, he can do it again. That's called Community Need Assessment. And that survey is very important. Whatever you just mentioned, each and every areas we have covered this year. So I really would like to request you fill out the survey and submit it.
Not only have I completed the survey, I have posted that survey all over our community over the last several months, repeatedly encouraging people to fill it out. So yeah, I definitely know the importance of the survey. So I think I've done my part. I hope that the Neighborhood Advisory Board is also distributing information about the survey, because I don't see a lot of it out there.
Okay, great. Um, the survey is still on, and until we finish the deadline, we cannot move with the next step. So since you filled it out, that's great. And obviously, we're gonna consider, based on DYCD analysis. But thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
We also got several hundred responses from the forum, so it's being spread out, and we appreciate your feedback, and we're gonna make sure that the money that is currently allocated will be allocated based on what you and your friends and family and people who fill out the form, how it will be allocated based on that, basically.
Thank you. Nice to see you again. Meeting you first time. Yeah, likewise. So I just got your keynote. You would like to give your testimony? Sure, absolutely. You want to go ahead? Hi.
Okay, so I'm Hannah Zargar, okay, and I'm part of NAB 14. And I would like to say that after taking the community survey, I found that there's a very large need for the before and after school programs in the schools. And the students really need this kind of program, and it's not just the students. I think that the parents are really needing these programs so that they can get back to a normal way of living. They don't have care for their kids in the morning to get to a working life, to create stability for their families. The children, I feel that these programs in the beginning of the day, they really help to normalize their life and create like certain programs that they can take advantage of, so that they can embetter and embetter their lives, enrich their lives with educational programs, enrichments that are that the schools develop, so that they can take opportunity that's available. It's not just before school, it's after school. In addition, there's also breakfast that's available for them. And I feel like at this point, everything is kind of combined in the school day. It's too rushed for the students. And I feel like the schools feel the same way. So it's not just the families, it's the schools as well.
Absolutely.
And it's not the way it should be as a community. So I think that everybody should work together, and we really need to start pulling the weight that we have to as a community board member, and help everybody, the families, the students, and the school members, so that we can all work
All
together.
go together, absolutely. And that's the purpose. That's why we all are here, help community grow together, make our community better place to live, And I'm so glad, just want to make sure I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Miss Aharon, right?
I'm Hannah.
Hannah, okay, Hannah, okay, that's it. Okay, thank you so much, Miss Hannah. I really appreciate, and I would like to request you if you can fill out the survey form. Did you get a chance to fill it out?
Oh, I filled it out, and I also sent it through, like I filled it through the school
Online.
systems.
Uh-huh.
So not only I filled it out, but the parent body filled it out, the school body filled it out, the
Great.
administrations, they filled it out, and they all sent it out through their families. So we really sent it out to a broad, community, so that we can get it through many, many different districts.
Great. I mean, that's why Brooklyn got great response this year. Thank you so much. Thank you. Really appreciate. Would you like, Mr.?
Right, and thank you for you know, what you will do, because I think it's important.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. So we have one of our NAB member, NAB, right? CAB member, right, CAB member, sorry. Rhonda Joseph just joined. Thank you so much joining, Rhonda. She's on the Zoom right now. Yes, moving back to you, Mr. Aaron. Am I pronouncing correctly your name? Aaron, okay, perfect. Would you like to go ahead and testify?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Aaron Zarazar. I just got elected to the county committee for a 2-year term for district, Assembly District 45, election, Assembly District 4. And currently I run a food pantry in Brooklyn, located on Avenue T in East 21st, called Hannah Kosher Foods. We've been running this organization for 20 years, and we went through every horror that the people went through and always needed someone to support them. We've been there for years. Recently, with the inflation and all these wars going on and people flooding into the city and they're in desperate need for food, I feel that I feel that local food pantries help just as much as food stamp cards do. Because with $200, you can get fillers or a main item. The both together, it helps people eat very well. And the focus of our company is to help mothers feed their kids. That's how actually my mom started it 20 years ago.
Okay.
So we grew up doing this, it's part of what we do. And I hope that people can feel that people can help out in local companies like Staples or Empire Blue Cross Blue Shield, if they can help community funds or work with Food Bank or City Harvest to help this happen. Would greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Really appreciate and keep up your great work. Thank you.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would do that, yeah.
If you're in the district, I don't know if you're in the district.
Yeah, it's either this one or, you know, Amber Allen.
I know of her.
Yeah, so I work with her a lot. She comes to the food bank, she opens companies with us, with her. If you contact her, or I can give you the number.
I mean, if you already work with her, you know.
Yeah, so she usually tells me which grants I should fill out and stuff.
Yeah, you should bring up, you know, the neighborhood advisory board, if her board votes on food pantries as like, or like on food security, for example. I'm not sure the exact title it would be under, that would be eligible for, but, you know, if it's food security or even if it's like something.
Hi, Mr. John. Yes, so answer is yes. You just asked a question and the answer is yes regarding so we can provide in Urdu, Spanish. So yes. Celia, any question, testimony?
Hi, I'm sorry. I'm having a little trouble hearing you guys.
So am I speaking?
Yes, I can hear.
Hi, how are you? I am Cecilia Cortez.
Thank you so much.
I am Cecilia Cortez. I am a member of the community and I wanted to bring to your attention New Car Plaza. New Car Plaza is an area which is located on between Marlborough Road and New Car Avenue, and it's a plaza where there is a train station and a lot of people, and there are stores around, and a lot of people hang out there. And for the last maybe few years, there has been an increase of homeless people there, and there is an increase of garbage, and there is an increase of rats. And I think that the community should invest some money in cleaning that. We also have a new hotel that has been opened on Coney Island Avenue, and I think it's Beverly. The big new building is a hotel, but it's a homeless shelter for men, and they are walking towards Newcar Plaza, and they hang out in Newcar Plaza, and the garbage, they sleep there, the rats is really a place where is we used to be able to walk there, and children used to come, parents used to come, but now it's mainly full of homeless people, and with all their garbage at night it's full of rats. And if you walk around 5 o'clock in the morning, the rats are still walking there. And even in their surroundings are there are people who are bringing food and throwing food supposedly for the birds, but all that food is also for the rats. And for example, I live on Marlboro Road, which is right next to the plaza, and even the rats spill into our backyards. So I think that as a community, money has to be invested to clean that, to make sure that it's an open space. There are so few open space in District 40, in this area, that when we have a little bit of space, so we can even take a walk, which is Newcar Plaza, we should have a place where we go and it's safe, that we don't have rats, we don't have homeless, we don't have garbage, and we have to be safe, because we don't have to have people screaming all the time for reasons that we don't even know. And children are going by, elderly is going by, and everybody else is going by, and it's really an unsafe area. So I think that if you are allocating money for a program, I think Newcar Plaza should be a priority, because it's very well, people use it all the time. That is my issue.
Absolutely. No, thank you so much for bringing this to our notice. Actually, I live close by and I know what you're coming from. So I have noticed the same thing, and that's why we have CNA survey. And it's very important for all of us. Again, I know I keep repeating this thing. This is very important for all of us, for all our communities. Spread out the word as much you can. Make sure our community understand the importance of community need assessment. We need to fill it out. And yes, eventually we're gonna get there what we are looking to make our community better place to live, to make our community clean, safer, better place. So absolutely, it's gonna happen eventually, but right now we are at the point where we are trying to gather as much survey we can. So thank you so much, Mrs. Avia, for your deep observation and explanation. Thank you.
So I would like to continue. So you're saying you're not going to do anything now?
Oh, no.
No? Hello?
Hello?
So are you saying that nothing can be done now?
It's a process, so we need to go step by step. So right now, the step one, we are looking to have survey, which is gonna address all these problems. Like your neighborhood, there are so many other neighborhoods, which neighborhood advisory board and DYCD addressing the issues. So at this point, of course, it's a part of it. Eventually it's gonna sort it out, but overnight, is not possible. Rome was not built overnight, that. But eventually, yes, it's gonna happen. We are in the first stage right now, gathering the survey.
I see.
Once we have survey and deadline is closed, then we're gonna go for the second step, funding, allocating the funding to the organization and working on all the areas which is important to our community, like you just mentioned.
I see.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you very much.
No problem, Cecilia. You want to say something? Yes, let me pass her phone to my associate, Sam. He wants to.
Yeah, I live in Midwood, and there's a few areas on Kings Highway where I felt similar circumstances where there's been the garbage pileups, and I contacted my city council member about it, and they were able to get more garbage bins in the area and a few other things. So like a short-term solution might be to call your city council member and talk about that. And maybe they would be able to do something similar to what my council member was able to do. That's just a suggestion, but like, if you want to fund a beautification project, like a bigger project for Newkirk Plaza, then that would come to us.
Well, it's just that I didn't know where to go with that issue because we have been living with that issue for many years. And the last city council, we reached out all the time and nothing happened. And we have also reached with a new one and still nothing had happened. So looking for places where we can go because that Newkirk Plaza affects children, adults, the elderly, people who are retired, people who work. That's a really an area that is used by so many people, and so many people have felt that they cannot use it anymore. And in past years, we have even have kids from the schools, the nearby schools, beautifying Newkirk Plaza, coming to plant and have little projects happening. And nothing is happening now because people do not feel safe going into Newkirk Plaza. So we need to rethink how can we do it between the garbage, the rats, the homeless, the screaming, and the unsafety. Nobody's going to use it. Such a beautiful place. And we need a place where we can go because District 40 has very few open spaces. So I think that that should be something that we consider. But since you say this is the first process, I would like to continue. I will continue to address that issue. Thank you. And maybe I will contact again the current city council to see if they can help us. Thank you.
So much, Cecilia. Also, I would like to mention if you can reach out to your community board. I think you from 14, right, Ms. Cecilia? Okay.
Yes,
So
we
you
have.
can
We
send
have.
it out to community board 14 and also local precinct.
Yes.
Sure.
Thank you.
No problem. Hi, Mr. Duran?
So I'm curious as to, given that the CNA survey is so critical to, helping to determine how funding is allocated to the local programs. What efforts are being made by the Neighborhood Advisory Board or by DYCD to like create a calls to action, day of action where flyers are being distributed in the community? Is any of that planned in the near future?
Yes, hi, Mr. Dwayne. Yes, absolutely. We're still doing that, you know. In public library, we have recently done it. In a lot of places, wherever we can reach out, we have, spread out the word through the flyers. So yes, we still doing, we have done it as well.
I mean, I would like to suggest that maybe there be a day of action call where volunteers in the community get together and go out into the various parts of the district to hand out flyers, especially flyers in.
Oh, yeah, we did that at the police, day, the police. Yeah, that was the name of it. We did it at the police night out, but we can do that at other events as well. So we can try that at other events. If you have any other suggestions, like any night outs or, any maybe community fairs or things of that nature, we're all ears.
The neighborhood advisory board organize, maybe a few days of action over the next few weeks to get more people, make more people aware of the survey, and hopefully get them to fill it out.
Yeah, that's very fair. And we can brainstorm, the neighborhood board to brainstorm.
Thank you.
Hi, hello, can you hear me? Is Teresa?
Hi,
Hi, you have questions?
yes, just some further questions, just
Sure.
clarification of your process. So I understand that there's a survey, and you said earlier that there's no due date for the survey. So how do we understand what the final decision is? When is the timeline for that? And is there an amount that you're working towards, or can that be divided amongst a number of priorities? Can you explain, please?
So, Ms. Teresa, the deadline will be around somewhere in November. We still do not have the exact date, but I would like to request you to follow DYCD website because everything is gonna be online there, As we progress, you can get all the update online.
And thank you, and is there any clarification on what type of budget you have allocated for these programs? And will it be divided amongst different priorities?
Hello?
Yes,
So I would say based on, survey, and I don't have the exact answer, I would say it this way, but it is totally based on, the survey. And I would tell you as we go, as we proceed further, and I think the result is gonna be out somewhere next year. So you will find out, as I said, everything is gonna be online. But as of now, I do not have the exact answer, exact number.
well, then can this request be made? I mean, I think there are many priorities for the community, and I'm sure the survey will tell you where you receive the most votes, but what I'm hoping is it's not one priority takes all, and perhaps there's like priority 1, 2, and 3, and that can be divided accordingly. So I don't know if that can be part of the consideration.
Also, I was just thinking, since you really want to get exact answer, and I do not have exact answer right now, and I really would like to have your email ID so we can, as we proceed further, we can keep updating you, and if you have any question, we would be definitely happy to answer you.
Thank you. I've entered it into the chat.
Okay, thank you. Hello? Hello, Mr. Dwayne?
Sorry, yes.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
hi.
I forgot to lower my hand.
I came to know from my associate, Mr. Blake, that you have a question regarding neighborhood advisory board.
I'm sorry, repeat that. I couldn't
Uh,
understand.
You have a question regarding neighborhood advisory board, what we do. and
No, well,
how
it's not a
we
question. It's not a
close to
question
our
regarding.
community.
It's not a question regarding the neighborhood advisory board. I mean, I'm familiar with the neighborhood advisory board. I should probably disclose. I'm on the local community board. I'm actually one of the co-chairs of one of the committees. I think it would be prudent and useful to any community members that are participating in the discussion right now, if you guys could provide some context around what the neighborhood advisory board is, what the role is in the process. I think that's what the last um, um, participant was asking, is essentially like, what's the role of the neighborhood advisory board? Whether there's priority in allocation of the funds, how it gets allocated, like, so there, I mean, there are a lot of questions people might have. And I think you guys should provide some context around what the role of the Neighborhood Advisory Board is in this process. And you know, how people should be thinking in context of, you know, how the funding gets allocated or what they should be asking for, how things get prioritized.
Okay, so actually we do have some detailed study and we do have flyer, and what I would do that, you know, since you are remote right now and you cannot see, we would be happy to share the detailed study which DYCD has done it in context of DYCD and the fund, with the question you have it. And I think that's going to be very helpful. We can send it out to you through email, and I would really appreciate if you can send your email. Actually, just write down your email in the chat box, and we would be happy to share this document.
It's not for me. Like I said, I'm familiar with what a neighborhood advisory board does, but not all of the people on this call are familiar with a neighborhood advisory board and what it does and how it works. And I think it's useful to provide context. And you may have information there, but there are people that are participating in this call via Zoom, and they don't have access to that information. So would you be able to provide just a brief overview of what a neighborhood advisory board is and the role in this process? I'm not trying to be as they say, a hard ass, but I think a lot of our community is uninformed and unaware of what a neighborhood advisory board does.
So let me just give a brief. What is neighborhood advisory board? And I understand you are pretty clear. Probably all other people who joined us virtually wants to know more about us. So neighborhood advisory board, which is known as NAB as well, a local volunteer organization. They are created by the New York City Department of Youth and Community Development, which is DYCD. What they do, they help to determine priorities for community-based organization. We call it CBO as well, for community-based organization, which is funded by the Federal Anti-Poverty Program, which we call it Community Service Block Grant, the one you wanted to know for funding. So there are 41 NAB, each representing a low-income neighborhood known as Neighborhood Development Area. In other words, we call it NDA. These areas were created by identifying concentration of poverty as reported in the census and are distributed across New York City's 5 boroughs. Now, who they represent, who's on the board, there's a few more things. If you want, I can read it further or I can explain further. Or if that's good enough to understand. That's a brief definition I explained about neighborhood advisory board. I hope that helps.
Thank you for that.
No problem. Thank you, Mr. Grant. Request all the member or all the people who joined us virtually, if they want to know more about neighborhood advisory board, we can share some of the flyers. Well, as far it is regarding to community, we already spread it out the word through local organizations, public libraries, through a lot of meetings, and we're still doing that. Unstoppable, DYCD is working, NAB is working. But if any of you wants to know more about DYCD, NAB, about, the funding program, what do we call it, we would be happy to share the flyer we have, has a detailed explanation of each and everything, what DYCD and NAB does. If you are interested, leave your email ID in the chat box and we would be happy to send out to all of you. Hi, Geneva.
Hi, Lily. I just wanted to chime in. I'm sorry, I was having issues trying to log in. Also an NAB member. I just am unable to be there in person, but I just wanted to chime in on what Lily was saying to the young lady and the gentleman that's on the community board that's familiar with the neighborhood advisory board. Part of our mission is to, of course, get the surveys in so we can see what the community, what the residents themselves, how they feel, like what they need. But also too, some of the neighborhood advisory board members, what they do is they actually read the grant proposals from the organizations for the programs that they're trying to get funding for. But to answer the question that the woman had, there is not one, let's say like one initiative that's solely like I guess focused on. So what happens is after they do, like after people complete the surveys after the deadline, they tabulate it. And what they do is we get the results back and then we see an order of priority. So there are I forget how many like initiatives or let's say needs that are met. But I just want to let the women know that it's not just one need that's met. It's not just one priority that's met.
Thank you for that. And that would make sense to me because there are lots of priorities within the community. And so
Yes.
to know that the funding can be allocated accordingly would be very useful. And I'm sure the community would appreciate that.
Absolutely. So basically, it's in the power of the people who answer the surveys. And I don't know if this answered a question that you had before, but there was a deadline. Why there's no set deadline right now is I think that our DYCD is probably in the process of extending it because they want to get more surveys completed throughout the city as well. So I'm not sure if that answered the question earlier, but I hope it helps.
To a degree, thank you. I guess, we want to get it in as quickly as possible. I just don't want to send it in after it's closed. So I guess.
Got it.
Someone said earlier, no, I heard November at one point during today's meeting. I don't know if that was in regard to survey deadline or not, but our goal is to submit it as soon as possible, of course.
And we appreciate that too. That's all I have to contribute for now.
Thank you everyone who joined tonight public hearing. It really means a lot to all of us because I know how important it was. And I hope we constantly getting this survey, and it's my request to all of you, spread out the word. We can share the link with you, as I mentioned earlier. We have paper survey as well. If you want paper survey, you can reach out to Neighborhood Advisory Board team. There is an email ID we can share in the chat box. But please, guys, fill out as much survey you can because those are the areas which is mentioned in the surveys, is gonna resolve the issue of our community. And we can be, able to make our community better place to live. It's for all of us, basically it's for all of us. DYCD is just advocating. Neighborhood Advisory Board is working parallelly with DYCD, but without all of you, it's just impossible to succeed in our mission. So I would like to request one more time, it's very important to take the participate in community need assessment. Choose what matters to you. There are so many programs which we mentioned this year. Actually, if you're gonna open the survey, you can see there's like over 50 program, and I guess each of you had a question is covering those areas. So I hope we would be able to resolve our community problem, over the time. Of course, we are in the first phase right now, which is gathering the survey. So yeah, thank you all of us, and I would like to conclude the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
From